Hi, here's Multi and welcome to the last episode of the season series where we go through every NHL team. Because this is the last episode, we've already gone through every episode from their team's point of view, and now it's the time for the last episodes, which includes some speculating for some of the trophies that may interest you, and then also the Stanley Cup playoffs. And in the previous episodes, at the end of them, I said the playoffs conclusion. It was at the time, it may have changed a bit, but hopefully you will not be offended. Tell your opinion who will win the Stanley Cup next season in the NHL, the comments. But at first, maybe I should start telling the playoffs that made to my playoff 3. So starting with the Eastern Conference, the Atlantic Division. In this order, I've placed the teams, starting with the first one being Montreal Canadiens, second Tampa Bay, third Detroit, fourth Ottawa, fifth Florida, sixth Buffalo, seventh Boston, and eighth Toronto. So there isn't that many new teams. All of these teams, I think, were in the same order in the playoffs, and Buffalo and Florida have got a little up in the division. And I should also say that I haven't counted any points, so I don't know the draft order or the odds for the draft pick. So this is just a quick review. Then the Metropolitan Division, starting with Pittsburgh Penguins in the top, second New York Rangers, third Washington Capitals, fourth Philadelphia Flyers, fifth New York Islanders, sixth Columbus Blue Jackets, seventh Carolina Hurricanes, and eighth New Jersey Devils. There's one change, including Philadelphia and Islanders. Philadelphia wasn't in the playoffs, and Islanders were, so we'll see how that one goes. But in my playoff 3, Philadelphia does make it. Then to the Western Conference, starting with the Pacific Division. Anaheim Ducks in the top, second LA, third Calgary, fourth Edmonton, fifth San Jose, sixth Vancouver, and seventh Arizona. So who did drop? I think Vancouver did drop a couple spots there compared to last season, even more maybe. And Edmonton came to the playoffs. Then the last division in Central, on the top Chicago Blackhawks, second St. Louis Blues, third Nashville Predators, fourth Dallas Stars, fifth Colorado Avalanche, sixth Minnesota Wild, seventh Winnipeg Jets. And some changes from there. Dallas has taken the spot of Minnesota Wild in the, I think, fourth spot. So now you know the teams that I've said who make it to the playoffs at my speculations at the moment. So we'll leave it that for behind for a little time, and let's go take a closer look at the awards that made the players win next season. Starting with the most valuable player. Last season it was Carey Price of the Montreal Canadiens. Next season I'm thinking Sidney Crosby. Then the gentleman player. Last season Jerry Hudler. Next season, on his back to his form, Pavel Datsyuk. Then the best goalie last season, Price. Next season I'm thinking Jonathan Quick. Then the rookie Calder Memorial Trophy. Last season it was taken by Aaron Ekblad. Next season Connor McDavid. Then the Art Ross I think that's the most points in the regular season. Last season it was Jamie Benn. Next season Sidney Crosby. Then I think Norris Trophy. I'm not sure of the first name. Sorry for that. But still, last season it was given to the best defenseman, which was Erik Karlsson, and next season I'm speculating Alex Pietrangelo. Then the best coach. Last season I'm not sure who did won that. Sorry for that. But next season I'm thinking Ken Hitchcock. And then the Maurice Richard Rocket Trophy. Last season it was taken by Alexander Ovechkin, and next season I'm thinking Steven Stamkos. So that was the stat awards that I'll tell you for now, and when we reach the Stanley Cup Finals I'll tell the most valuable player in the playoffs in my eyes. So, but there's a long way there, so these may differ. But as I've said the teams that have made the playoffs, so let's start going how they will match up. So in the Atlantic Division, first team was Montreal Canadiens, and they were against Ottawa Senators. I'm thinking that Montreal will make it. I'm not sure what about the games, but I think I'll only give the teams that will go through. Like last season, Montreal did win Ottawa, so I'm expecting that next season as well. Then to the second partnership, Tampa Bay versus Detroit. I'm thinking that Tampa Bay will win it, pretty similar to last season. I think Tampa won that partnership in the last game, in the 7th game. So it's going to be Montreal versus Tampa and in the second round, and I'm thinking that Tampa Bay Lightning will make it to the third round. So just like last season, Tampa will make it to the third round. But then the Metropolitan Division, the teams that I said in this order are in the playoffs: Pittsburgh, Rangers, Washington, Philadelphia. So in the first round it will be Pittsburgh versus Philadelphia. I think it's the Pennsylvania Derby. And from that partnership, I'm thinking that maybe Pittsburgh Penguins can make it past the first round. And then the second playoff pairing there in the Metropolitan Division, in Rangers, Washington, and I'm thinking from that Washington Capitals would make it to the second round. Second round would match Pittsburgh Penguins versus Washington Capitals, and for that partnership I'm thinking Pittsburgh Penguins. So the Eastern Conference's playoff final would be between Tampa Bay Lightning and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So which team would make it to the playoffs? And in my eyes, I would give the Stanley Cup final spot for Pittsburgh Penguins. So they're the first team to be in the playoff, like in the main event of the season. I'm thinking that the Pittsburgh Penguins is the toughest team in the Eastern Conference, and I'm looking very specially to see how the starting line for them works. So I think that would be one of the reasons why they can go such a further long trip to the playoffs and being good in the regular season as well. So Pittsburgh Penguins there. Now it's time for the Western Conference, starting with the Pacific Division. The first one making to the playoffs in the top was Anaheim Ducks, second were Los Angeles Kings, third Calgary Flames, and fourth Edmonton Oilers. So it would be the first pairing would be in the Pacific Division, Anaheim versus Edmonton. I'm speculating a big surprise from there. I'm thinking that Edmonton would make it there. And in the second pairing, Los Angeles Kings versus Calgary Flames, I'm thinking that Los Angeles Kings would make it past that. So a bit of surprise that Edmonton would make it so far next season, but I'm looking big things from their first line, pretty similar compared to Pittsburgh. Only advantage for them in the LA Edmonton against each other is that LA has a little more experienced team compared to Edmonton, so that's why they would make it to the third round. So LA are in the conference finals, and then to the Central Division in the Western Conference, starting with the order that they made it to the playoffs. Chicago Blackhawks first, second St. Louis Blues, third Nashville Predators, fourth Dallas Stars. So first round Chicago versus Dallas. I'm expecting Chicago to make it through that, even though I think Dallas will be a big challenge for them. Then the second pairing in the Central Divisions playoffs, St. Louis Blues versus Nashville Predators. I'm expecting St. Louis Blues to make it through that. And then the second round pairing would be Chicago Blackhawks versus St. Louis Blues. And I'm expecting St. Louis Blues to become a dynasty in the coming years. So I would give the Central Divisions playoff third round spot. So it would be in the conference finals, Los Angeles Kings versus St. Louis Blues, and from that pairing to the Stanley Cup finals would go, in my eyes, St. Louis Blues. So that would be a little bit change compared to other seasons. I expect them to go to the at least to the third round in the couple last seasons. They've been pretty solid in the regular season. I'm expecting them to be solid in the regular season next season as well. But now I'm looking them to also succeed in the playoffs. So reaching the Stanley Cup finals would be great for them. And then the final from the Eastern Conference, Pittsburgh Penguins made it to the Stanley Cup finals, as I've said. And then from the Western Conference, St. Louis Blues. So, in my eyes, who would win? Tell your opinion in the comments as well. Pittsburgh versus St. Louis Blues, if it would happen, who would win? In my eyes, the most valuable player in the playoffs would be Yevgeny Malkin of the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think he would play in the second line, maybe in the first line with Crosby. They would mix the lines maybe there, but I think then you know the team that I picked. I picked the Pittsburgh Penguins to win the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. So I think that's it, guys. Pittsburgh Penguins are my pick for the upcoming NHL seasons. Winners, tell your opinion how it would match up. But I think Pittsburgh has the best offense, pretty solid defense there. They've got players that can make little plays into goals and that sort of stuff. Also pretty good defense, and I'm expecting them to grow with the season. So who would win, Pittsburgh versus St. Louis, in the comments below, and also your pick for the next season's Stanley Cup winner, and also looking for my YouTube channel's future, what you would want me to do here on my channel, maybe some more speculating, perhaps, if you would like that. Or as you may have seen, I've also uploaded some FIFA and NHL gameplay, I'd say, short videos. Maybe I should start a career there. Tell your opinion from those. And I really like doing this, so if you also like listening to these, then that would be great. But as I've said many times, Pittsburgh Penguins are my pick for the Stanley Cup champions next season. And I think that's about it, guys. Remember, you saw nothing. Bye.